All right, peace, black family. So today I'm going to be talking about The Woman King, and not giving a movie review per se, but talking about the fake outrage that's coming from some people within the community about The Woman King. As you can see, it's storming out here. A hurricane supposed to hit South Florida, so as you can see, it's storming. But I just want to talk about the fake outrage around the movie Woman King, right? Because everybody is throwing up smoke screens about why the movie is stupid, why the movie we shouldn't watch it, why we should boycott it. And to me, I hear a deeper message underneath all that talk of boycott and agendas and et cetera, et cetera. And what I really hear underneath all that conversation is the hate for Africa, the hate for African history, the hate for the connection to Africa. That is what I hear under all that conversation about, oh, this is a feminist agenda. And the reason why I say it's an underlying conversation, a subconscious hate for Africa, is because the same people screaming that it's a feminist agenda, right? Oh, it's a feminist agenda. It got a point behind it, separate men and women, are the same people who would say the movie Set It Off is a classic. These people be like, oh, Set It Off is my movie. Ain't one part in Set It Off had one positive black image in it. Not one. Especially not no black man. Not at all. Jada Pinkett had to have sex for Christmas toys. Okay? It didn't have one image of a positive black man, but you would call that movie a classic. Okay? It was an all-female cast, black women. Nobody complained about it because it didn't have nothing to do with Africa. That's the reality of it. Y'all would sit around and y'all watch Color Purple. Again, not one positive image of a black man in it, but that movie is a classic. You will watch movies like Moonlight, and then when the dude get, nominated for an Oscar or whatever like that, that's heavy in the agenda. But that's okay though. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't have anything to do with Africa. When it comes to Africa, oh, we hate it. Oh, we don't want to hear about slavery. We don't want to hear about that. But everything else though is a classic. Right? We're not talking about the image of black people. Because if that was the case, stop watching all these entertainers. Let's boycott some of these entertainers that's putting out negative images. Meg Thee Stallion, all those other people who putting out negative, poisonous images that destroying our people. Am I disregarding the Diome's part in the slave trade? No. Not at all. I'm saying what the underlying conversation is about this movie. It is really about your hate and disdain for Africa. That's what it's truly about. Because if you really, people saying things like, oh, they got a white director. Okay, if it's that serious, boycott everything. Don't turn on Love and Hip Hop. Don't turn on all these negative shows. Stop watching Power. I'm sure they got a white person back there somewhere doing something. Stop watching all these negative shows. You're not going to do that because it don't got nothing to do with Africa. You want to boycott this because one white person participated in it. All the other shows, though, you'll turn a blind eye. Oh, I don't see the white people. I don't see the negative images of black people every day. I don't see it. I'm going to watch it. Don't tell me what to watch. What's wrong with you? I watch it I want to watch. But it's a white executive producer on the show. It's my freedom of speech. I could do that. Come on, man. We got to start really thinking. If you really want to boycott the stuff that's really targeting us. And if you're going to say, well, it interferes with, and this is no disrespect to nobody, no, you know what I'm saying, FBAs and nothing like that, but what I'm hearing on a subconscious level, it threatens the reparations movement, because, now Europeans are going to say things like, oh, well, Africans sold y'all into slavery. Yo, 4, 5, 6 years ago, y'all was the ones screaming that. Tone and Yvette was the first people screaming Africans owe us reparations because they sold us into slavery. Tariq Nasheed, these are the people saying these things 4, 5 years ago. Go check their record. Saying Africans owe us reparations. So then when they didn't make a movie about it, how can you get upset about it? You was the ones promoting and saying it. You was the one saying this 4 or 5 years ago. Africans owe us reparations. We are different from Africans. I am totally and utterly confused. And let's be clear on this. No continental African, no Caribbean is entitled to reparations, from the foundational Black American movement. I'm very clear on that. But it bothers me when we talking about a movie about slavery that you think you have a monopoly on if this movie should come out or not. As if my people didn't go through slavery. Now, I'm not saying that I have a claim to American reparations. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that how you know I want to watch the movie. My people come from Dahomey. My people come from Haiti. Why do you think you have a monopoly on the slave trade to say what should be said and what should be ushered in about slavery? Like, let's just be real about this. So we're dealing with the part about reparations. Okay, 4-5 years ago, Tone and the Vet was the main one saying Africans own reparations. Now when they make a movie saying what you've been saying, it's like, oh, now this movie interrupts the reparations movement. But you've been saying that though. But you've been saying the whole thing. So we gotta start, you know what I'm saying, really listening to what we saying as a people. Like I hear people saying things like, yeah, you know, they sacrificed our ancestors and they killed our ancestors and chopped off heads and things like that. Okay, granted, I get that, but that was a part of ancient culture. You can go to Asian culture and you will see that sometimes kings would die in dynasties and they would bury 30,000 people alive with them. You said, some of y'all saying y'all Native Americans, right? If you go down to the Aztec, some of them did human sacrifices. But when it's Africans, right, wrong, or indifference, I'm not saying that the Africans were right for doing it. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying keep the same energy. Their energy is different when it deals with African history, culture, and remembrance. The energy is different, man. The conversation becomes different. And I'm saying that is because there's an underlying hate for Africa, African culture, history, and etc. Y'all don't hear yourselves. And I get it. Some people gonna say, oh, you're a Caribbean coon, you a tether. You don't got the right to say this, you don't got the right to say that. Hey, paint the picture how you want to paint the picture. But the underlying conversation, maybe sometimes you can't hear yourself when you talk. But the underlying conversation sounds a little different. I am not saying, I do want to repeat, I am not saying that ADOS, Foundation of Black Americans, are not owed reparations. I am not saying that at all. I am not saying that at all. That is not a part of the conversation. The part of the conversation is how we relate to the thing. Don't dress up as Queen Latifah and set it off next year for Halloween. You know what I'm saying? Don't be on TikTok doing scenes from the movie because that movie was stapled in man-woman agenda heavy. Queen Latifah was a lesbian. All that. Don't say that movie is a classic. Don't say these movies portraying Africans in America, Foundation of Black Americans, in a negative light. Don't say those movies are classics. Don't say it. I'm telling you, it feels like everything that deals with Africa, African people, or history, it has to become a badge of shame. And the stuff that we should be boycotting, that we should stand on and say, this is some BS, y'all hold up to the highest degree. Or we hold up to the highest degree, because I'm not separating, because Haitian culture is the same thing. It's the same thing. But I'm just saying, are we really listening to ourselves? And then if we are listening to ourselves, are our actions matching what we're saying? Because I need us to start boycotting some of these TV shows. If we on that type of energy, let's start boycotting some of these TV shows. Okay? Let's start boycotting some of this music. Let's start boycotting some of these clothing lines who disrespect us. Matter of fact, let's boycott all them clothing lines that disrespect us. Let's do that. But, you know, Viola Davis is the bad guy or the bad woman right now. So it is what it is. But for me, what I seen in the movie, what I took away from the movie is a woman, regardless of when the movie took place. I understand that the scene, the narration, and all that takes place, not narration, the plot takes place during the slave trade. But what I seen in the movie is a woman healing herself. A woman that has love for her people, even though her people have done her wrong. A woman overcoming the traumatic experience of being sexually assaulted and still having a love for her people. Of course, the movie is not historically, 100%. We should not depend on movies to tell us our history. Read a book. Read a book. Why are we dependent on our movies? What movie is historically 100% correct? Not there. Not even none of the white movies. Saving Private Ryan, The Patriot, all those movies got a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo in them. You know what I'm saying? Braveheart, all those movies ain't 100% real, but the Urugus, the Europeans, take away a message from it. What is this telling me? I get the fluff, I get all the made up stuff, but what is this telling me? What's the underlying message? What can I learn from this? But we can't even get to the learning message because we can't get past Africa. We can't get past the idea that it had something to do with Africa. And that's the reality of it, man. But what I see in the movie is a woman, you know what I'm saying, dealing with hurt and pain and strife and overcoming all those things and healing herself and connecting. You know what I'm saying? Of course we know it's not historically correct. Of course. Why do we need them to tell our story for? Just give me the seed. I took that movie as a seed to open some people's mind up to learn more about Africa. And that's what that was, man. But like I said, the conversation is being misconstrued. I'm sure a lot of people are going to take away what I'm saying. They're going to be mad about what I'm saying in the video. And that just is what it is. Somebody had to say it. All right? Till next time, think black, stay black, love black, and support black. And that's real African black power.